What's up, guys? Today I'm in the 2017 Porsche 991.2 911 Turbo. I just want to thank H. Greg Lux in Pompano Beach, Florida for allowing me to take this beauty out to show you guys. Get a feel for how it drives and check out all the quirks and Easter eggs and all the special features it has. Let's go check it out. Alright, here she is, 2017 Porsche 911 991.2 Turbo. Finished in graphite blue metallic, which out here in the South Florida sun is very nice. Lots of metal flake, looks stunning. It has the gunmetal colored wheels with the standard steel brakes, but the wheels are center lock, so that's a definite bonus. You have the Porsche dynamic lighting system, which is the active LED units with the black housing, body color headlight washers, and you have the little apron that goes around the bottom for the aerodynamics. You can actually retract it with the press of a button. This car's got pretty nice options. It's got things like blind spot monitoring, lane keep assist. See a little camera up there. And the blind spot monitoring is pretty cool. Instead of being on the mirror outside the car, it's actually inside on the edge of the A-pillar. There's a little sensor I'll try to show you guys later. You've got all the vents, retractable rear spoiler in the back, full glass pano roof, which is very nice, especially as we're getting towards the fall months here in South Florida. Now for 2017, at least for North America, we get the 991.2 generation, which basically gives new headlights, taillights, as well as front and rear bumpers. So this car is powered by a 3.8 liter twin-turbo flat six that produces 540 horsepower and 486 pound-feet of torque. But thanks to a temporary overboost mode called Sport Response, which is actually a little shortcut button on the steering wheel, it gives the car an extra 37 pound-feet of torque for about 20 seconds for a total of 523 pound-feet of torque. Now, I've actually used that Sport Response mode before, and it definitely makes a big difference, especially in a pinch on the highway or whenever you need the extra power. It definitely comes in handy. And for the transmission, it is of course Porsche's legendary PDK, which not only has lightning quick shifts that you can't even really detect, but in Sport Plus mode versus Sport mode, the shifts are much more violent, and it basically allows for much quicker and more aggressive shifts. Now pair that with the rear wheel steering, and the experience you get when driving this car is really second to none. A lot of people say that the 911 is the perfect sports car or the perfect car in general as far as a luxury, daily drivable car goes. And they're really right. I've driven lots of 911s over the years, all different generations. This is actually my first time driving the new 991.2 Turbo. Well, we just had the 992 Carrera come out. The Turbo is probably about a year out. But for right now, this is definitely still the king. Alright, so right now I'm going to turn on the automatic LED headlights and taillights for you, so you guys can check them out. And we'll put the hazard lights on right there. So as you can see, the low beam and the high beams are basically in one unit. So you have the two LED projectors surrounded by the four main LEDs that are in that ring. Those make up the DRLs, daytime running lights. And then you have the revised turn signals, new for 2017. Very nice. See, this is part of the PDLS, or Porsche Dynamic Lighting System. So they go up and down, going off in different directions. And if you got clear side markers, turn signals in the side that are integrated. No mirror turn signals. And then around back, you've got the updated taillights, also full LED. So you got turn signals, brake lights, and reverse lights mounted in there. They look very, very nice, very sleek, modern. And then you've got your third brake light mounted in the rear wing up here. Now you can argue that over the past 50 or so years, the overall design and shape of the 911 hasn't changed, and that's really true. It's really gotten bigger over the years, just more features, more power, new engines. So Porsche has basically had over 50 years to perfect the sports car, and they've honestly done that. And I'll get a more in-depth feel of how the car drives when I really take it out for a spin. But after just having driven it from the dealership to over here, just the all-around luxury, sportiness feel, it's all just perfectly melded together into basically the ultimate sports car. And you can argue that it's not exactly attractive or pretty compared to a lot of Italian exotics, you know, Lamborghinis, Ferraris, but it definitely is elegant. It has that German cleanliness to it, very nice straight lines, and you really can't hate on this color. This graphite blue metallic, I don't know if you can see it in the camera, but it is spectacular out here in the sun. But these cars aren't about being exotic by any means. They're really about understated luxury and performance, being faster than anything else, being more comfortable than anything else. And they definitely have the price to back it up. They're not cheap cars at all. I believe in 2017, when the Turbo first came out, they were probably 170, 180 grand, and the Turbo S is even more. And depending on options and if you get the cabriolet or not, they can go up to about probably around $250,000. But for what you're getting, you really can't complain. Alright, now let's take a look at the inside. So whoever spec'd this car originally did an amazing job, and they knew what they were doing. So to match the graphite blue on the outside, you have this nice full dark blue leather, along with the graphite blue Alcantara headliner, which really just ties everything together perfectly. And you have the brushed aluminum sill plates here that says Turbo. All these seat controls are metal. Everything's just perfectly stitched. Alright, it's kind of noisy out here right now, so let's take a step inside. The headlights back to auto. So what's pretty cool is with earlier 911s and pretty much all Porsche models, when you had your key, to start it you would put it in this slot here and then turn it. So now what they've done is they've put this little piece here to act like the key. So you keep your key in your pocket for the keyless entry, put on the brake, and then turn it. And that's it. Close it up. And right away you notice just how quiet the car is. Everything's very well put together. The fit and finish is really amazing. Especially love this Alcantara headliner. Goes around the whole car, down the A pillars, and the B pillars, and the C pillars. And you've got really not the biggest back seat. 911s have always been known to have really the smallest back seats. Are kind of useless, or if you have small kids. But it's really just an extra luggage rack. More space back there. You got a little kind of a shelf. And this car is basically loaded to the gills. You've got a full leather steering wheel. And actually one thing I've always loved about 911s is just how small their steering wheels are. Here's my hand. And that's the whole wheel rim. All the necessary controls, nothing extra. And actually the GT3 RS and 2 RS actually have no controls. So you've got, you know, volume, navigation, phone, kind of all the shortcuts. And you've got your turn signal stock there, and your wiper controls. All your mirror controls down here. Metal door handles, very nice. And this has the full interior carbon package, so all around the car you have this nice carbon fiber trim. Goes all the way around. And white contrast stitching everywhere you look. So on the full leather sport bucket seats, that actually have ventilation for the very, very nice cooled seats that we're going to turn on right now. And then you have the updated infotainment screen, so it features Apple CarPlay. I'm not sure if it has Android Auto, but I guess that's something we can just look up later. It's got all the AC controls, pretty much the same. It's missing a few things here, but you've got your, actually you have your front and rear spoiler controls here. Suspension controls, traction control, the full panel roof controls, auto start stop. And one thing I've always liked about 911s is their cup holders. So you press that up here, and you've got cup holders. One for the passenger and one for the driver. Just a nice little touch. And then to put them back, you just fold it back in, clicks in, and you fold that carbon fiber panel back up, and that's it. The whole dashboard is nice, full leather, that kind of dark blue to go with the graphite blue on the outside. Fully leather wrapped visors. You got LEDs that come on with the mirrors. You have all your garage controls and dome lighting and what have you. And just like the new E63S wagon that I drove the other day, I was talking about launch control. With Porsche, it's as simple as putting it in drive. Let's put it to Sport Plus. Foot on the brake. And that's it. And if you want to cancel, you just let out the gas. But as you can see, no complications, no extra steps, just as putting it in Sport, Sport Plus, foot on the brake, and that's it. It gets the RPMs ready for optimal launching, and you're ready to go. And speaking of launching, this car does 0 to 30 miles an hour in 1 second flat, 0 to 60 miles an hour in 2.6 seconds flat. And with that special overboost mode, the sport response, so you hit it here in the middle of the mode selector, and for 20 seconds, you get extra torque. And like I said earlier, it is very noticeable. Just looking around here. All the little touches. You have a little storage thing here, ashtray, and then you got your cigarette lighter. All the carbon in the center console. Close that. So we got for a center console. Not much of a center console. You can maybe put your phone, some business cards or something in there. Actually, huge glove box. With some charging ports. Very nice. Goes way back there. Okay, so now I'm going to get a startup and some revs for you guys, as well as some launch controls. And after that, we're going to take it out on the road to see how it drives. Right now we're taking out the 2017 911 Turbo. See how it does. Right now I've got it in sport mode and automatic for the PDK. Put it in Sport Plus in a second. Sport mode, it's very fast, and I didn't even use the sport response button. So now we'll put it into Sport Plus. We'll do manual shifting. So that was about half throttle. The throttle is extremely responsive, especially in Sport Plus. Very touchy, but very controllable at the same time. I love the sound of the blow-off valves you get from that twin-turbo 3.8 liter flat 6. And Porsche has done an incredible job with this car. I mean, I've never had a bad time driving a 911 before. It's just that each year, each generation, and each facelift, you know, every little change they make, it makes the car better. Whether it's throttle response, steering, I mean, right, this 991 generation has electric power steering. And when that first came out, all the purists were like, wanted to crucify it, but I mean, it feels amazing. The road feedback is incredible. You always know where the car's pointing, you always know what the front wheels are doing. Alright, so now we got it in Sport Plus, and thanks to that rear-wheel steering, the U-turns are extremely tight. Now we're going to do a little launch control. So like I said before, just left foot hard on the brake. And it's really hard to convey just how violent that is on camera, but the fact of the matter is, there's just nothing else on the planet that launches like that. I mean, I've driven every kind of car, all kinds of power levels. And yes, okay, a car can make 2 or 3 times more than this car makes. This car makes over 500 horsepower, but by some standards, yes, that is slow. But however, the way that it launches, the way that it uses its gearbox to just throw you forward or backward into your seat is really unparalleled. You can see now I got in manual mode. The steering is super, super responsive. I mean, it changes lanes like instantly. I mean, there's no waiting. There's no waiting for anything. It's when you want it, it's like that. It's snappy. So right now I've got it in normal mode, comfort mode. The suspension's in the softest setting. The steering is in the lightest setting, nice and floaty. The car is doing its best to shift into the highest gear, seventh gear, as soon as possible. I mean, it's just easy. For daily driving use, it's the perfect car. But on the other hand, when you want to put the Sport Plus, or Sport or whatever, it becomes an absolute animal. And it makes definitely the tightest U-turns of any car I've ever driven with that rear-wheel steering and short wheelbase. I mean, the torque, everything, the way it manages its power, it just pulls on your face. And actually, before we go and return it, we're going to try that Sport Response button and see what it does. So we got the car in Sport Plus. Now let's put on the Sport Response. Just hitting the button here. Wow. That Sport Response is definitely amazing. The car just punches you in the face with the amount of power it makes. Just really is something else. Alright guys, well that should do it for this review of the 2017 Porsche 991.2 911 Turbo. Once again, I want to say thank you to H. Greg Lux in Pompano Beach, Florida. See you next time, guys.